Welcome to another episode of 50 Shades in Grey, where I'm joined on my couch with my son Zach, and we're joined from my mum and dad's house, Carly and Caroline. Hello, guys. Welcome. How you doing?
Hello.
All the way from Scotland. They're very, very brown as well. We look very well. I'm the only one that looks white, actually. How you both doing? You good?
It's always sunny in Scotland, Elliot.
Never. No, that's not what I hear. I'm told it's always colder there. How are you both anyway? How you been keeping?
Good.
Really good, yeah. Just living life.
She's been living life. Non-stop holiday.
You're just back
Barcelona
from...
1 week, then Ayia Napa the next.
Yeah, I had Barcelona the other month there, Ayia Napa this month, and I've got Germany this month.
With who?
My friends and my family. I'm going with like my dad, my uncle, and his friends to watch a Scotland game.
Scotland.
Oh, what, the Euros game?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Do you know what part of Germany?
No, we're not watching it. We're not watching it live. Like, we've not got tickets. We're just going into pubs in Berlin.
Yeah, soaking up the atmosphere, Elliot.
Yeah, we're going to be going to all the pubs.
Sorry, come again. Can't watch the Scotland game. Oh my God, what's the stadium game? Oh, I was just watching it at a pub.
Well, I would watch it.
In Germany. That'd be really good though. Oh, it'd be wicked. Yeah. Where are you going in Germany?
It's like camping. Berlin.
Oh, okay, amazing. Okay.
Yeah,
have you been before, Carly,
Berlin?
Berlin?
No, I've never been. Never been to Germany before at all.
Oh, that'd be unreal.
So it looks good. Yeah,
it's nice.
It's like a camping trip. So like my dad's rented out his big camper van, and then I'm staying in the big tent. Me and my friends.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Yeah, I'm excited. It should be good.
So what I thought we'd talk about today is just go down the road of parenting, because we've both co-parented, single-parented sort of kids, well, not kids now, obviously, but of the same age.
Yeah.
So what things, Caroline, sort of did you find hard parenting on your own? What were the things that stick out for you that were really hard?
Well, Carly and Eva, there's only like 13 months between them, so having two around the same age I found really difficult, especially when Carly decided to cut off Eva's hair. I had an absolute friggin' meltdown, I swear to God.
Was that plain hairdressers?
Yeah. I had got my hair cut from being long, and I got it cut into a nice wee bob. Carly thought she would redo this on Eva, and she cut all her hair off, and she cut her own hair off. And
mine wasn't as bad as Eva's though.
So
Eva's was worse.
Yeah. So things like that, right? Because when you've got two around the same age, it's really quite hard. And I worked. So I had 3 kids. So like, you know, Corey was like 9 years older than Carly, and then there was the 2 girls. So it was difficult doing it all on my own. And like Carly and Eva's dad at the time, you know, quite often he would be away. So it was just left up to me to watch, you know, the kids. You know, you didn't get a break very much. How did you find it?
I was thinking about this earlier on, actually. I think the hardest thing that I've found, like parenting when you're single, is when I had to sort of tell him off. You always feel that there's no one to do it with, and you always feel so bad, and you always feel like the bad guy all the time. And I'm not saying his mum didn't do that. I think she would have had the same thing as well. But I think when there's 2 of you, you can sort of like team up, and there's sort of, it's good when there's 2 of you because you don't feel bad, because you can both say, well, we're right. It's for his own benefit. But when there was just us 2 in the house, and I don't know if you remember sort of any of these, but when I've had to sort of tell him off before, like I'd feel awful afterwards. Even when I was doing it, I would feel absolutely awful about it.
Yeah. I was not too bad, because me and your dad, even now, we stick together and we'll always have. So if I was giving them into trouble, the first thing I would say was, I'll tell your dad. And it'd be, no, don't tell dad. And Corey was the same. He's got a different dad. But I've got a story to tell you about Corey as well, but I'll tell that in a minute, right? It was quite a drastic one.
No, don't leave us hanging now. Tell us next.
You're writing a book on it, Caroline.
So, Corey decided, it was about 12, right? So Corey decided when he was about 12, he was going to take 2 girls to the cinema, right?
Oh, what a
And he stole
baller.
money out of my purse. And he told everybody that his dad had gave him money to go to the cinema with these 2 girls. So anyway, he took them in the cinema, he bought them Coke, he bought them popcorn, right? And I had noticed that the money had went missing out my purse, and I'd spoke to his dad. I says, I think he stole money out my purse. He says, oh, that's not on. I says, right. My friend was a policeman. So I phoned Craig. I says, listen, Craig, Corey's stole money out my purse. I says, I've said to him about it. So he knew he was caught, right? And I had says to him, I'm going to phone the police about that, by the way, Corey. Anyway, I don't think he really took me seriously, but I phoned Craig, the policeman. He says, I'll come round when I'm on shift. So at that time, Craig was still in uniform, so he came round with his partner, and he made sure that he never done the talking, because obviously Corey knew him. The partner did the talking. And they're like, right, Corey. I had to leave the room because I was pissing myself laughing, right? Honestly, I was absolutely buckled. But honestly, it put the shitters up him, and he has, I mean, he's 30 now. He's got kids of his own, but he never stepped a foot wrong after that, ever. He got his wee talking to, he got a row, and he took it on board, and he was a good lad. Never had any bother with him after that. But that could have went a very different way. Do you know, if I had been a wee bit lackadaisical about that, and, you know, all right, Corey, you shouldn't have stolen money out my purse, it could have escalated, and it could have been a continual thing. So I think when it comes to something serious like that, get it nipped in the bud. And that's what community police officers are for. You know, all like, because my friends, I've had that when their kids were young, and I've said, call the community police officer, they'll come round to the house and they'll talk to your kids. And they scare them. I don't mean as in, like, terrify them, but, you know, do you know what I mean? So I think...
Yeah, the only thing I'm focusing on that story...
taking all their time. There's crimes going on. All the
crime in Scotland went through the roof.
Yeah. Not the Glasgow. All the police arresting people going to the cinema.
I was still focusing on the fact that he was 12-year-old taking 2 girls to the cinema.
Yeah. I didn't hear anything else after that. It was all a
They
blur.
had says to him, Corey, what did you spend the money on? He went, I took 2 girls to the cinema. And he says, and did you buy them anything? I bought them popcorn and juice. And they went, well, you know, at least you treated somebody with the money. He says, but you do know it's still not right to be taking somebody else's money. And he's like...
Or 2 girls out at the same time.
Well, luckily, he's a one-woman man now. And with the 2 kids.
So, Karli, how about you sort of growing up? What are your memories of sort of with your mum, and in terms of how it's affected you, or not affected you, but in what influence that will have on your parenting?
But like when my mum like disciplining me and things like that.
Just generally, just everything across the board. Is there? You know, I know you're a long, long way from having kids and getting married.
Well, I think you've definitely like grown me as a person. Do you know what I mean? Like how you brought me up has made me like
morals.
Yeah, like morals. Like all my morals are like basically the same morals as you've got.
Yeah,
because that's how you've taught me, and that's how I think. And
and I've taught you to value yourself as well.
Yeah, and like to be grateful for things that other kids don't have, and to like appreciate life, like things like that. You know what I mean?
Caroline.
Like, yeah, Caroline.
Yeah, no, I'm such a good parent. Well, do you know, I'm a bit of a shouter though. She will tell you that. You know, I used to scare the shit out of them when I shouted. I used to scare the shit out of my husband when I shouted. Never mind the kids. No wonder I'm single.
How about you, mate? Anything?
I should have gone first after Carly's speech.
Yeah, you better pull something out of the bag now, because that was quite good.
Hold on a minute.
I was really crying at Carly's.
Yeah, I shedding a few tears at Caroline. What I do differently?
Yeah, no, I definitely think there was things that, like, from my upbringing, that I thought I'm going to do that differently. And I know this, you know. How about you?
I think with manners and stuff, I think I've liked how you brought me up. Same with mum. I like how you both disciplined me with certain things, like social manners. Like I think especially nowadays, I think our context with my kids, I'll be really strict on like using their phone in public, and I think social skills are really important nowadays, especially with like technology, and just interacting, being present in moments, and sort of not being too glued to your phone all the time. So I'd probably be a bit more like I'd emphasise that a bit more than you and Mum, probably, just because it's so important nowadays. But no, I think you've done a pretty good job, Dad.
Yeah,
Pat in the back, Elliot. Pat in the back.
I think what I do like about Mum, about you, about us when we were growing up is you'd be telling us like things to do and things not to do.
Yeah.
Like buying a house at 18 and stuff like that.
Yeah, because like obviously you learn you don't want your kids to repeat the same mistakes as you, right?
And getting into debt and stuff, you're always like us, don't get into debt, don't get a credit card if you don't need one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like overdrafts, like I know a lot of my friends are owe back thousands in their overdraft, and I've not got one, thank God. I just try, like, I think I'm quite good with my money now.
Yeah.
I do keep my savings, and then I do use them for things that I need to use, but I've not
holidays.
Like, I don't.
Holidays.
Well, exactly. Like, I use it for things that make me happy, like going on my holidays. Do you know what I mean? I like going on my holidays, so that's what I save my money for, and then I make sure I've got money left over in case I need it for anything important, like a flat tire or something like that.
Yeah,
you know?
Inevitable.
Well, I made sure as well that you had money in an ISA, so you could start building and saving up for a house and what have you. And I've always says to the girls, I mean, it's too late for Corey. He's done it. He's married, bought the house, got the 2 kids. But like with the girls, I've always said, you know, when you buy your first place, buy it on your own. Don't buy it with a guy, you know, because you never know what's going to happen. Always have your own little house that you can always go back to.
Yeah, back up. I agree.
And I would say that to you, Zach, as well. If you were
I
my
agree,
son,
Caroline.
I would be saying to you, always have your wee place that you can go back to. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd even say that with a friend as well, not just a partner. I think I'd be the same with friends.
Yeah.
I think financially, you just always have to cover yourself. I think if I bought somewhere, I get them to buy it and then rent it off them.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. Because like, if you didn't, you just bought a house with someone straight away, and then you broke up. Like, you need to go back to your parents' house, and it's not ideal if you're like 30 and. Do you know what I mean? It's not ideal.
I don't know. Don't be too judgy. Don't judge people going back to their parents' house at 30.
Well, no, I know a lot of folk that go moving back with their parents, but personally, I wouldn't want to be moving back in.
Yeah, once you've moved out, you want to step back. Yeah, but
I want to stay out.
I don't know. I think
if you bought somewhere, I think that's different. If you bought somewhere and then you're moving back, I think that's different.
Right, we'll have a discussion when you're older. Because like me and my 2 brothers, I've got 2 older brothers. I think at some stage we've all moved back home.
I think I will.
Like, but only if it may not for any particular reason, but it's usually like you sell a house, you're waiting for another house, or you travel and when you get back, you're waiting for something else. So I think you're home, like with your mum, your dad, or your mum and dad together. I think that's always like you always view it as your home. You sort of always walk. Even now at my mum's, the first thing I do when I walk in is look in the fridge. You know,
I'm the same. I'm the same. In fact, I'm going to my mum and dad's to stay next week because my mum's going on holiday with my niece. So I'm going to move in and be with my dad for the week just to make sure he's like all good and stuff like that. So I can't wait. It'll be really good.
That'll be nice.
Quality time with old dad.
On the flip side, Kaz, what things do you look back on and think, I wish I'd have done that better, or that wasn't my best moment?
Patience. I've not got much patience, right? And I lose my temper quick. And I think because you're maybe stressed, you lose your temper a wee bit quicker, especially when you've got like 3 kids, work. Do you know what I mean? You've now got a lack of support, lack of money. Do you know? And I just think, you know, I wish I wasn't as bad tempered as what I could be. And I'm actually a very laid back person. But I can switch. I can go from 0 to 10 in seconds, can't I?
I mean, I never saw that in you at all.
It's over. It's over like quite quick as well.
You can turn into Godzilla sometimes.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Was you ever close to losing your temper in the house?
Never.
No.
Losing your temper now?
No,
in
the
the
retreat.
villa.
in the
Never.
show, yeah.
No, nowhere near it. No. Nowhere near it. Were you?
I would have, no, not like. No, I wasn't at all, because I'm quite calm until I'm not, and then if I lose my temper, I'll lose my temper. So I don't like it, and I don't like that feeling of not being in control of something. I don't think so.
I'm a bit the same. Yeah, so like I can just snap once I lose my shit. That's it. It's like game over. Caroline's
There's a
turned
lot of
into
stuff I
mental
found
case.
frustrating in the house, but nothing that really made me lose my temper at all. I don't think. I do remember, like with Zach growing up, there was a time when, and I don't think you have it in school. Do you have the 11 plus up there now? Do you still have that for grammar
No, we
schools?
don't have that. We've never
Different
had that.
system.
What's 11 plus?
It's a test that the kids get when they're 11.
Oh, what does it do?
Don't know.
So,
what does it
like,
do?
I'm sure that, like, a lot of the parents that are down south will resonate with this, but you get caught up in like this feeling of that it's the most important thing in the world that your child can pass this 11 plus test, because if they pass this 11 plus test, they go to a grammar school, which is where in the south, like if you pass 11 plus, it's where all like the more ably gifted educational wise kids will go. And I remember like we were doing these tests, and I just remember one evening where I just like, he just would never read the questions. Like, and I remember telling him off and like sort of really having a go at him, going, just read the bloody question. And I remember having this like, and it was so frustrating because he wouldn't read it, and he would make so many really basic, simple mistakes. And I know, like, and when I looked back, I was like, he was 11. He didn't care. He didn't read the question, but it was so. It felt like it was so important for him to pass it, and I think it was only important, or I felt it was important for me. And then a year later, I'd completely forgotten about it. He'd gone to a different school. He'd done absolutely great, so it made no difference whatsoever. But I think you get caught up in that thing at school with all the other parents, where they convince you it's a really important thing. And I always remember him saying, "Oh, like when he was like in year 5, like they was all like, have you gone to look at new schools yet?" And I was like, "No." So, "Oh, you've got to do that. You've got to go and look at all the grammar schools."
Oh,
and
really?
Right? Yeah. And you end up doing these, like, do you remember these? Like when we do these open evenings where you'd go along and you're looking around the school without even knowing if you're going to get into it, but you're looking around the school, sort of like going to him, would you like coming here? Would you like doing this? Would you like, and you know, like when they're 11, they're looking around thinking, I don't care really. You know, I really don't care. But I think you get caught up in a lot of stuff.
You don't have any of that in Scotland, so that pressure is just taken away from you altogether. But when Karli was at primary school, I kind of felt that, I thought she was maybe dyslexic, and I had said to the teacher, because she could write the alphabet like back to front, and I couldn't do that if I tried, right? You know, the letters would be back to front.
Right, words back to front.
Words back to front and stuff. So and I thought, right, there's just something no right here. And she did struggle a bit. And I had said to the teacher, and the teacher looked at me as if I was stupid. Anyway, I persevered, and before she went to the high school, they tested her. And she had a processing disorder, so she learns a wee bit different. She's still as clever as everybody else, but she just learns.
It just takes me longer to learn things.
Yeah,
to understand
a wee
things.
bit of repetitiveness.
I basically do like triple the studying as everyone, and then everyone else does.
And then she gets it, right? So, you know, when she was at primary, I did get her a private tutor to tutor her, to help her out, because
English and maths.
Mainly English and maths, and he was a retired head teacher, and he was absolutely fantastic. And I mean, he did wonders for her. He really did, and her confidence. He did wonders for her confidence as well. But because Karli struggled at school, what I used to say to Karli is, Karli, concentrate on what you're really good at. Now, Karli was really good at any sport. She excelled in any sport. And when she was like young, she was in the under-11s football team. And I made sure I was the secretary of that football team. I was the first aider of that football team. So I was like right in the heart of it. And, you know, she done really well at that. But then she decided she wanted to do athletics. So she stopped at football, she went to the athletics, and Steph kind of done more with athletics. So he kind of took a more forward role with the athletics. And there's this thing called the Power of 10. I don't know if you've heard it. It's maybe a Scottish thing, I don't know.
Is it in the primary schools?
Is that 5 different events?
It's a ranking.
It's a ranking.
It's a yearly ranking. So you can go back and you can check who was the fastest in Scotland for like the 200 metres or the 400 metres.
Oh, okay.
You know, and Karli got in the Power of 10. Do you know
for
what?
Which was
like amazing.
Yeah, I think it's for under 11s for 100. I was the fastest 11-year-old for 100 metres and 200 metres in full of Scotland 1 year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, she was like, she really excelled at sports. And you could just turn your hand to anything, eh? And I mind at high school, there was tryouts for like the school football team. And so Karli went along, but they never said if it was boys or girls. She just went along. And I'd went to watch and I'd says to one of the guys, has anybody scored a goal yet? And he says, yeah, the girl. He says, the one girl. And then you did get picked, but you never joined it because it was all guys, didn't you?
Yeah, it was all boys. I didn't want to go and it was all boys.
So I always say, it doesn't matter when any of the kids always say, do what makes you happy, do what you excel in.
Yeah, and I did like running, but running was actually a massive part of my life, and there was good parts and there was bad parts.
Yeah.
Because I would come home crying some days, and I just
didn't
enjoy it. No, because like running, there was a lot of pressure on running with me. Families would come to all my races, and I was like,
so competing.
You know, everyone was expecting me to come first, second, or third, because I would always either come first, second, or third with my races.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of pressure. And you say you remember.
I remember you coming in crying.
Yeah, but remember, I think you've said to me, you remember me like at like my events that I would go to when I'd compete. Before my races, all the girls would be like warming up and would be looking really serious. They'd be warming their muscles up, and then I'd be just playing with my friends because I just, as a kid, I loved running and it was good, and I knew I was good at it, but I wasn't in the mindset like, oh wow, like, I could maybe be really good at this. It could do good things for me, but I just think it's fun, and I just happened to be really good at it, and then I think when it started to become really competitive, and that's when I started to not enjoy it as much.
Yeah, it got too serious.
I was getting too serious, and I didn't like being serious. I just like having fun running, and it's quite sad actually. I think if I'd stuck at it, it could have been really good. But
even football now, you stuck at that.
She could easily have been in the Commonwealth Games.
Well, you could have kept up with football because women's football now is really shooting up.
Well, women's football.
Once I went back to football, and because I missed it, and then. Because all of us had grown up a little bit, a lot of the girls were bitches and they weren't the same, so it put me off completely. So I left. Yeah.
Clicky.
Yeah, so I left, and then I think that was like the end of my football. I just stopped.
That's
you went to Canada to coach.
Yeah, I went to Canada to coach football, but that wasn't like proper football. It was just kids stuff.
Yeah, coaching kids.
But I think when it comes to the kids, Elliot, you always want them to do a bit better than what you did, don't you? You know, like. I was always into sports when I was young, so that's why Karli got into it. But I always had this bit of an alter ego where I'd quite like to be a movie star. So Eva and Corey did all that. They did drama, and Eva's still acting. That's what she done her degree in.
Yeah, I think you do. So, and I don't think it's living your dreams through your kids, but you want them. Just to sort of have every opportunity that maybe you felt you didn't. I think that was one of the things as well. And I was always very big with Zach on turning up for everything. I mean, it made it easy because he was at my school as well. So I used to teach Zach, which was lovely for him. But it was, that was a big thing for me, just being at every game, every event. And even now, I still really enjoy watching him now. So when he is playing, I'll always go and watch him rather than play myself now, because I just get more. And I think it it's good for them to know they got someone in their corner as well. Do you know what I mean? Like through the good or bad. I think that really helps. But I think dads are the worst at being
too pushy,
especially
with football. So want everyone to be like the next Ronaldo, don't they?
Yeah. Was your dad pushy with the football, do you think?
Not really. I remember the coaches being pushy.
Yeah.
Like, not really my dad. He would just encourage me to do my best, obviously, but the coaches would really maybe put you down a bit if they knew you weren't trying your best.
Yeah.
How did you find me pushy?
Yes, but I think to be an elite sportsman, you need a pushy parent who's going to make you train when you don't want to.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, I think you need to build like an elite mindset, which is why I think that a lot of people don't do it because they haven't got the mindset. Obviously, you need to be gifted, but I think a lot of it's getting your parents to push you and they know your boundaries better than anyone, I think, your parents.
Yeah.
They can test the boundaries and then push you past it because they're there to pick up.
I think I used to push him because growing up, I never really had that because it was just my mum. So you were kind of left to your own devices, and I ended up playing football just because I like you say, Karli, I just loved it. But there was no one ever sort of pushing me forward. But I think watching him growing up, he was so much better than I was at that age, and sort of you remember that he could do things that I could never do. And I was thinking, he was just, you want them to do well.
Yeah.
But do you not think maybe our parents, that was just that's how they were back in that era? Because, I mean, I was brought up with both my parents and I never got encouraged to do my sports or anything like that. And I remember asking, can I join the athletics club? Because I was like, Karli, I loved running. I used to do cross country. And my mum says, you won't stick it, no. And I asked for a pair of spikes, got told no. And I mean, we weren't in the poorest family. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was just no, that was it. It never got encouraged. And my sister, she had so much more get up and go about her, and like she would just be able to go ahead and do things herself, and she was older as well. So she done more of the sports than what I ever did. And well, they never let her do it, but she would maybe go and because she was older. I seen her like maybe doing marathons and stuff like that. But that's because she was at uni and she was like going doing stuff like that with her friends.
Yeah.
I was like a lot younger than her, so it was just different.
I think looking back now with my sort of childhood, like my mum had 3 the same as you, and she was sort of. She was single when she was 31. She was single from that point going forward. She was widowed. So like she had 3 boys. So I only ever had 1. So I don't know what it's like trying to divide your time. God knows what, if they're all playing football or all doing something on a Sunday morning, I'm not sure how sort of parents managed, like what 2 parents managed to do, let alone 1 parent sort of getting around everything. So I don't know what you found.
What I used to do was, Corey was a skateboarder. The skateboard place was like just down the road for us, so he was all good. He could do all that himself. Stage school was on a Sunday for Eva, but football could quite often be on a Sunday as well. So then me and Steph had to one would go to stage school, one would go to the football. So if one of us was away, we'd have to get another relative in to do it. I mean, Eva just needed dropped off at the football, but we can't at the stage school. But with the football, you wanted to stay and watch the match, and you would maybe be travelling as well, quite a distance as well. But yeah, we just used to have to try and get somebody to be one place with one and one place with the other.
Yeah, I think parenting, and it'd be interesting when these guys, hopefully not for a long, long time, but sort of have kids, because like the parents. Like when I'm working in schools, you see the parents now, and it's so different parenting now. There's so many more pressures, I think, from everything. I mean, you see a lot of the parents with your little kickers thing you do, don't you? And they're so involved in everything, and there's just and understandably, there just doesn't seem to be any freedom anymore. But unfortunately, it seems like a lot of the kids now, especially the young kids, they've got 0 resilience to anything because of it. And so that that makes it really hard. They just can't deal with anything out of the ordinary at all. Where I think, us growing up, it was completely the opposite. You had to be resilient because a lot of the time you were sorting stuff out on your own. So there was no one there to particularly do it for you. And I think probably you guys had a bit of a mixture of both. You'd sort some stuff out yourself, some stuff with your parents. But now, the parents feel like they've got to do everything and be involved in everything because that society expects them to be.
And the thing is, I think part of growing up is, trusting your kids to be mature enough to carry out certain tasks themselves. They've got to learn life skills in order to because these are the future. These are going to be the parents of the future kids, so they need to know what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? It's like you with medicine, right? Karli with medicine doesn't read anything, right? I says, for goodness sake, I says, what are you going to do when your kiddie is ill and you need to give them medicine? I says, you need to read it, Karli. So she's saying to me, how many of these tablets do I take? I'm like, friggin' read it. Read it.
No, I can read it, but then I read it, but then I just think asking you will be faster.
Just Google it now.
So wait a minute. I've got to read it first and then tell you. It's like when you watch a film with Karli.
Oh, so bad.
So what's happening now, Mum? I'm like,
watch it.
I've seen it the same as you, Karli. I don't know.
So he's out and just fast forward to the end, watch the end too. No, that's what he does. So it really annoys me that he does. If we sit down and watch a film, he'll go like, what's happening? I was like, watch it. Just watch it. And he'll get his phone and then he'll just Google the ending so he knows what's going on.
Zach, that's terrible.
That's ruining it.
Yeah.
And what's worse, he'll die in a minute. And then have you done ruining for me?
He's crazy.
And he does it with football as well. If we're ever watching football, and not so much now, but we used to watch it on catch up. Am I boring you, Carl?
No, it's fine.
But we used to watch it on catch up. And then as we were watching it, he'd Google the score. And I knew that he'd go to bed after someone scored. So it's like, you think, well, I know there's going to be no more goals now.
Yeah.
He doesn't like surprises.
Good.
So what are your plans for the next few weeks, you two? What are you doing?
Well, you're away.
I'm going to Berlin. That's me.
Another holiday.
I've got nothing planned. Away with my dad. I'm staying with my dad next week, and it's my short week at work. So I'm off the Tuesday, Saturday, Sunday. Seeing the grandkids as well with my ex-husband. So we're doing something together as well. But then after that, it's just the usual. Work is normal.
Oh, brilliant.
Me too.
Listen, guys. Sorry, Carly, go on.
I was just saying me too. I'm having a girls' night next week. A pasta and wine night.
Ooh.
And she's
Didn't you just have 7 of those in Napa? You just had 7 of those in Napa.
I've not had a girls' night in a while.
No, just for one night.
Oh, that'd be nice.
All right, guys, listen, just want to say thanks for coming on. It's been lovely chatting to you.
It's been a pleasure.
It'd be great for all of us to catch up soon, actually. It'd be really good, yeah?
Yeah,
I know. Listen,
yeah,
I wish you had been at, Jessie's party. We had such a good time.
Zach said he had a great time.
It was good fun. And then the next day we were away at Clayton's and we stayed over there. And
we met his little boy, didn't we?
Well, his grandson. His grandson.
Christian's little
boy.
Christian's little boy.
Yeah, just a wee cutie man, just totally smiling all day. But it was really good. And then when we came back up the road, we decided that we were going to Alton Towers for the day. So
spontaneous trip to.
Amazing.
I just seen the sign. I was like, oh my god, Mum, there's a sign for Alton Towers, and then I just googled how far it was, and it was only like an hour, and
we're like, let's do
go.
it.
Gotta go.
So it was good. It was a great weekend, brilliant weekend.
Yeah,
good. And I got a snog as well.
Whoa! Where was this?
She kissed him.
What, the widow?
What's that?
What, the widow's there at the end? You rascal, Caroline.
I know. So, you know, we've been having a bit of chat and that, getting to know each other is lovely.
After the
It's
snog.
really nice. Yeah. Snog.
She got
Snog first, ask questions later.
Well, when I says to Clayton the next day, it's like, what? You dark horse.
He was jealous.
I don't think he was jealous.
Well, I hope that goes well. And are you still chatting then?
Yeah, we're still chatting. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, watch this space for get an update.
Nice feeling. What's that?
I said, well, watch this space. We'll have to get an update on that.
Well, I'll give you an update the next catch up we get.
Definitely. Well, listen, guys, thanks for coming on. Thanks for watching 50 Shades and Grey. Subscribe below and we'll catch up and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.